Hi everyone and welcome to my first ever YouTube tutorial. So yeah, I'm super excited to get started. Today I'm going to be doing the trending latte makeup, which is so popular right now for fall. Everybody is so into it. Full disclosure, I'm so much more confident when I've got a makeup brush in my hand. So let's get started and I'll start talking you through the techniques that I use and the products that I am loving right now. I'm starting with the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. Just popping some of that onto my hand. So I'm not using a huge amount of it. You can see the liners I was testing on my hands earlier. So I'm just going to pop some of that onto my hand to get started. I always tend to start with my eyes, and one of the techniques that I really love that Katie Jane Hughes does all the time is called priming the brush, and it's just where you work the product into the brush before you apply it. I feel like you get such a smooth finish when you do it this way, so it's something that I'm really keen on. I'm just going to start applying concealer to the top of my eye. Now the NARS Soft Matte Concealer is so good for priming the eye for eyeshadow. I love it. I use it all the time. So I'm just applying this onto the eyelid and it helps to give a really nice base ready for your shadows. I am a huge fan of the ELF brow gel. I absolutely love this product. I feel like it's so effective. It works so well. I've got crazy brows. My brows are a bit curly and I love that laminated look. The truth is these days my brows are not at their best. I actually had microblading done back in 2019 and then I went travelling, so I never kept up with the upkeep, and then when I got back it was COVID. I loved them when I first had them done, but the pigmentation's just completely gone. Now I need to get them removed before I can do anything with them. So I have this awful greyish sort of tinge to my brows. I can't really go anywhere without brow product. Now the thing I absolutely love about the ELF brow gel is how well the product sticks to it, especially if you haven't got a huge amount of brow hair for it to cling to. It just sticks so well. Let's see, I'll show you how much I've got left in this one now. It's about half a tub and it doesn't really run out that quickly. It tends to last quite a long time. I always feel like about halfway down, maybe a bit further than this, it starts to get a bit white and flaky. I think it's just where it's drying out. So I normally make sure I have at least 2 of them in my makeup kit, which probably sounds keen to some, but I'm a brow girly. I always have been. You see my little puppy? You will probably see her in most of my videos. This gal's my queen and my shadow. She's so pretty. We love her. So I'm using the Vive eye wand. I love these eye wands. They're super creamy. They've got a really nice consistency and a nice texture. This is one of the brands that you will hear me talk about a lot. I love Vive. I'll start applying this super close to the lash line actually. You don't need to be super precise with this. It's not like an exact science. And then take a fluffy brush. I really do try and blend out rather than in. I really don't take a huge amount of product onto the inner part of my eye. I like to keep that nice and light. It really doesn't matter at this point what the outer bit looks like because we're going to neaten that up before we go in with any other product. So this is just with the eye wand, so it is quite light right now. There's not a huge amount that's gone into it, and it's just starting to create a really nice base. And now I'm going to go in with the Natural Nudes palette. This palette of mine is well loved. It does me through every single bridal season. I get a new one every single year. It's just my go-to. And there's a couple of shades in here that I particularly love. So you'll notice that the nude shade, very well used. But other than that, I really love the shade Maple at this time of year. So I'm going to take this shade. I'm just going to start applying it over the top of where I applied the eye wand. I really don't want to bring the product any closer than the centre of my eye. I really like to lift my eye out because I've got quite small eyes, and I find that if I don't go any more than the centre of my eye, and that really helps to do that. Again, you don't need a huge amount of product. You really can just sort of pack it into the brush and then get to work. Just because I want to add a little bit of extra definition, I'm also going in with the shade Cocoa from the same palette. I'm using quite a flat brush here. This is a My Kitco brush. It's a small shadow brush. And I do really like this brush actually. It is very thin, but still fluffy. So it still works if you need to blend. And again, I'm tapping a tiny bit of product here onto my hand. And then I'm just gonna, this time, I'm gonna run it right the way along. And I really am only using the top of the brush now, tapping off every single time. See now that's just helped to bring the warmth in. When you create this shape, sort of the cat eye shape, I do really think that that helps to make your eyes stand out and make your eyes pop. And I'm still using the same brush. I am just dusting it off on my hand to make sure it's clean and free of most product. And then I'm just going in with my pressed powder. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Filter. I use shade 2 to help set on top of the eye. I know at this point it looks a little bit messy, but you don't need to worry about that because we're going to go in a minute, have a bit of a tidy up, and then start with skin prep. But first of all, I'm just going to pop some lashes on. I don't really wear lashes that often. Day-to-day makeup look, I wouldn't wear it, but I want to show you guys how you can make your eyes look bigger, and I do think that lashes are a massive part of that. The lash brand that I absolutely love using is the Own Lashes. They're an Australian brand, so you do have to ship them over to the UK, but they are so worth it. They also do a makeup artist discount. I'm going to show you the really easy steps that I use now to get an individual lash on your eye that just lasts and and looks beautiful. First of all, I start with an eyelash curler. Don't judge me for this beast. I've had this lash curler for as long as I can remember. Don't overcurl, but the whole point of curling the lash in the first place is it helps to give you a placement for the individual lash. I'm going to take a duo glue. I'm popping a dab of that on the back of my hand, like so. Now when you're grabbing your lash out of the box, you want to grab it from the bottom. Oh, they're a bit loose there. Grab it from the bottom and pull it off. Now they are quite delicate and they really don't take very nicely to heavy-handedness. Do be gentle with them, but you just want to dab that into the glue. The application starts to develop, you'll start to see where you need them. So I can see that I've got kind of a gap there. So I'm going to pop one in there as well. Now, the good thing about individual lashes is that they do look really natural. Just enhance the eye and they help then to elongate the eye and give your eye that appearance of looking bigger. Once the glue is starting to look like this and it's just sort of shiny, you do need to apply a bit more. At that point it's not going to be very tacky and it's just not going to stick very well. Now generally I would recommend that you apply the same amount of lashes on each eye, but occasionally there are times when I don't. If you've got a specific gap in the eye, you might need to put an extra lash in. So it's always worth just balancing that out and really having a good look as you're making the application. Once you've put on a good amount of lashes, you'll really start to be able to see where you need them, because actually it's more important that they look even and that they've got the even amount of lashes on them. My own individual lashes are honestly amazing. I love them so much. I can super up to the camera. I really don't need you to look up my nose. It's just so you can see the lashes. They just help to give like a nice feathery look to your lashes. As soon as the lash glue's dry, you can go in with your mascara. Now, my top pro tip as a makeup artist and for makeup artists, but also if you're applying individual lashes at home, is that you need heated eyelash curler. For individual lashes, they have changed the game for me. I quite often find that clients have a straight lash underneath the individual lashes, even after having curled them a little bit. But if you use this once you've put them on, it just helps to blend the lash together. Honestly, such a game changer for me. You can get these on Amazon for like £10. You don't want to apply the mascara until the lash glue's dry. You'll just find it annoying because they'll move, they'll shift, and it'll be really irritating. You can see there that I've just got a couple that are sticking out and look a bit strange. When I take this heated eyelash colour to them, they will just blend immediately. My brides literally know it as like my secret weapon. It's such a hack for me. I know a lot of makeup artists like to use a palette, but I still love using the back of my hand. I feel like it helps to warm the product up in a way that you just don't get with the palette. So I am still a big lover of using the back of my hand, especially when I'm doing my own makeup. A few key products that I'm going to be using for my base today. So the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I mean, everyone knows this product, right? If you don't, you've been living under a rock. I'm actually not going to use this until after I've done my underpainting. This is the Vive Modern Radiance Cream Bronzer. This is shade medium. I'm obsessed with this product. I repurchase it every time it runs. In actual fact, I don't even let it run out before I repurchase it. It is a #1 for me and it's a staple. And I'm going to be using the Vive Skin Nova Complexion Balm. I love the Vive Nova Skin Complexion Balm at this time of year. It's so hydrated on the skin. I didn't actually purchase it last year until, I mean, probably around this time actually. I reckon it was around September. And I wore it all through the winter. It's my absolute staple at this time of year. I just love it. It's so hydrating for the skin. It makes the skin look glowy and it gives you that healthy sort of autumnal glow. Yes, so it's my favourite. I'm wearing the shade 230, but if I'm honest, I probably should go down a shade at this time of year. Last year I was a lot more tanned than I am now. So this is absolutely great. I really recommend it. Jamie Genevieve knew what she was doing when she created this. So I'm using the Vive 117 foundation brush. And it's straight in to the cream bronzer. Now you really don't need a huge amount of this. When I say about priming the brush, this is what I mean. So I pop the product onto the brush, but then I work a lot of it into the brush. You don't want to apply that much product that I just put on straight onto your face, or else you're going to find it a lot more difficult to do underpainting. So I'm going to start working it into my cheeks here. And really you want to apply it anywhere that you want that extra definition underneath your foundation. Now you don't need to be shy with it. That's one of my key tips. Don't apply the amount that you think you need. Apply more than you think you need. You want to make sure that the placement of the product is still good. I'm applying this all around. Work it into the hairline as well. There's nothing worse than when you can see the difference between the bronzer that you've applied and the hairline. My brides always laugh because I always take a small brush and fill in their hairline as soon as I've done their makeup, but it just helps. So once you've used your cream bronzer, you need to go in and prime your concealer brush again. I'm using the same one that I used to do my eyes earlier. And you just want to apply that in the areas that you feel like you need a bit of extra coverage. I tend to apply it under the eye, on the side of the nose, and around my mouth area, because these are the areas that I personally find wear off the quickest for me. Now you don't need to worry too much about how much product you're putting on at this point. It doesn't need to be too heavy. You can always go in correct later on. I love to use a fluffy brush concealer. I know a lot of people like to go in with a small flat brush, but I think a big fluffy brush like this just helps to move the product around better. Once you blended this out and you're looking extra ridiculous like me, that's when you can go in with your foundation. Use the same brush. So I'm using the same brush that I've used for underpainting to go in with the foundation. Again, I think this does help. A little of this product does go a really long way, so just bear that in mind. Now, Vive also have a product called Skin Nova, and that's like their primer. And in the summer, I often mix those two products together, and that helps to give a really, really gorgeous base. So again, I'm priming my brush. I'm only taking as much product as I think I need at the time as well. I'm just gonna start by tapping that. Now, it's really important that you do this in a tapping motion. If you start swiping, you're gonna end up with that muddy colour on your face that you just don't want. Just starting to work the foundation into the skin. I mean, just look at that. Look how gorgeously blended that looks. It's just got such nice coverage, and it looks so natural. I never leave any product left on my hand. I feel like that was the perfect amount for me. But if you do feel like you've got a little bit of product left in your hand, just go back over some of the areas that you know will wear. For me, the areas that wear are between my eyebrows. Makeup often wears more down the side of my nose as well. So I often find myself applying a bit more around those areas. I think it really depends on where you touch your face. If you touch your face a lot in a certain area, but you'll need a little bit more product there. Right, next up, I'm going to take a little bit more Flawless Filter. Now for me, I know a lot of people are saying that Latte makeup is very matte, and it probably is, but I'm not a matte girly. So I'm priming my brush again with the Flawless Filter. I'm just applying that on the high points of my face before I do my blush. I tend to put my highlighter above the brow bone a little bit, but not in a precise 2016 above the brow bone, all of those things. I like to be a bit more free with makeup. There was a time when everything was so structured, and it's nice, or it was nice in the time, but none of us want that now. We're all about good looking skin and everything else, so just be a bit more free. The same brush, it really does help. Look at my baby just still laying there like a good girl. She's so pretty. Next up, I'm going to go in and set down the foundation. I'm not a massive lover of a setting powder. I do like them, but I feel like a pressed powder is like a life hack. Vive again, surprise. This is the Modern Radiance. No, it's not Modern Radiance at all. This is the This is the Modern Bronzer Bronzing Duo with shade Medium 1 and Medium 2. Now, you can see that Medium 1 is a lot more loved than Medium 2 is. I do like to mix and match. It's well loved, this product. And then you're going to just go over the top of the work that you did earlier. Start setting that in. It's actually got quite a creamy consistency as well. I'm sure that all of Jamie Genevieve's products are the secret to why her skin always looks incredible. I'll actually upload over the top of this, I'll show a picture of me next to Jamie Genevieve last year. I took a selfie with her, and when I left, I felt awful about myself. I literally looked at my skin and I was like, why don't I look like her? Cue buying all of Vive products. At this point, it's really up to you whether you go in with a blush or not. I'm a blush girly through and through, so I'm absolutely going to go in with a blush. This is the Hourglass Unreal Blush Drops. This is shade Vision. So I actually complained to them when I first got it, and I was like, I can't get the blush out, but you do have to really shake it, and then it's got like a weird little pusher on the bottom. Struggling to get the product out, then make sure you give it a really good shake, and then it should just drop out. You don't have to tap it, which is what I thought you had to. Take in still a fluffy brush, but it's just got a slight amount of more precision. And again, I'm priming that into the brush. And I'm applying that on the high points of the face. Now, I bring blush up onto my temples too. Blush is a gal's best friend, in my opinion. I love how natural this looks. And it's so glowy and so just beautiful. Just really beautiful. If you find that your makeup doesn't look how you want it to, it might just mean that you're using products that are just making it too hard for you. Right, just taking the same brush that I used earlier. Might give that a little dust off just in case it's got a bit too much product on it. Tapping that into, this is the Hourglass Sublime Brush. Everyone uses this. Well, I say everyone. In the makeup artistry world, every bridal makeup artist is using this, and there's a reason for it. I just want it to enhance the colour that I've already got and make it pop. If you ever feel like you've applied too much as well and you feel like it looks a bit strong, you can just take your foundation brush, dust it off to make sure there's not too much product on there, and then tap it over the top of the skin again. Just think it helps to mould and blend the makeup together so beautifully. Now the skin's done, I am just going to go in and take the maple shade that I popped on the eye earlier and pop it under my eye. And I'm also taking some of the shade Cocoa and popping that under the eye too. Just think that helps to make the eyes pop. I often find that blush and eyeshadow are the things that wear on me first. So quite often once I've done my makeup, I might go in and pop a little bit more eyeshadow on or a little bit more blush on. These tend to be the products that wear off of my skin first. Before I do bottom lashes, I do always set. Now this is the Airbrush Setting Spray by Charlotte Tilbury. I love this, but I don't feel like it makes my makeup last longer, I'll be honest. I tend to use this product to set my makeup because I think it helps to blend the products together so beautifully and leave this stunning glow on the skin. But to make my makeup last, this is your gal. This honestly changed my opinion on setting sprays. I've used all of them and gone, nope, they don't work. I think they make the makeup last longer. This is like hairspray. This is like putting hairspray on your face, I'm telling you now, but it's not bad for your skin. I honestly would have told you, I told all my friends, don't buy setting spray, they are a waste of your money. This is not a waste of your money. This is an investment in your makeup and you should absolutely buy it. Not sponsored, just a big fan. I'm gonna use this first. I do love how this product smells. It smells so beautiful. I also like the fact that it does make your makeup look fresh. I do genuinely believe that there is so much beauty in a product like this. I just don't think it's the be all and end all. As far as setting sprays go, I genuinely feel that if you use good products correctly and your application is good and you build and you use your creams on your powders on your creams, I do think that that will make your makeup last a lot longer than if you were to go in and use a setting spray. I don't believe that a quick 5-minute makeup and a setting spray is going to save the day for you. There are much better setting sprays on the market these days, and this is one of them. Right, now moving on to lips. I'm actually going to use 2 lip liners for this look. So I've got Vive again. Lol. I do honestly sound like a sponsorship, I know. I just love the products. So I've got the Vive Modern Lip Definer, and I've got shade Rumour. Yes, shade Rumour and shade Aphrodite. And they're well loved, as you can see. They're both very close to the end. So I'm going to use Aphrodite on the outer part of the lip. Now, I'll be honest, I still struggle with a darker lip liner. I don't always feel like it suits me. I don't feel like it's always the best for me. For a long time, I thought it was colouring and shading. I've tried lots of them. But the one thing I will say is when I mix them together, I quite often find that it is mwah, chef's kiss. So I've put Aphrodite on the outer part of my lip. And now I'm going to slightly overline the inner of my lip. And then I'm going to go over the Aphrodite and use this shade to sort of blend it out. As far as like a spiced latte lip goes, I feel like Aphrodite is the perfect shade. I do use a lighter lip liner just to help blend it out. Around the Cupid's bow. I'm not here for getting rid of the Cupid's bow, girls. And you can see there that it's just helped to really blend it out. And then I'm going to take a precision fluffy brush. I don't even know what this is called. This is the Peaches and Creams PC14. I don't even know if Peaches do this brush anymore. So once you've blended that out, and I think once it's been blended out, it just looks so beautiful and so effortless. So now on the same brush, I'm using Honey Love. Now, a secret for you here is I actually recorded this entire video yesterday and then realised the mic wasn't on. So this is take 2. Now, the final step in my makeup routine is always gloss. I don't like a matte lip. It's just not for me. I do this constantly. And if my lips are dry, it just feels so horrendous. So this is... oh, that's not a good look. This is Peachy Plump, the Charlotte Tilbury lip. I don't know what they call it actually. Anyway, it's their lip gloss. And it's got a slight shimmer to it. I just apply it in the centre of the lip. Now it is making it look slightly more peachy than brownie. But I like that. That's for me. I'm much more of a peachy pinky lip gal than a really nude lip gal. I don't feel like it suits me. Ooh. Girl should not have been wearing the headband as long as she has been. It's not a good look for me. So there we have it. This is my take on latte makeup for fall. My first proper YouTube tutorial. If you stayed this long, thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful. If you stayed this long, then thank you so much for being here. If you have liked this tutorial, then I'd love it if you could like and subscribe. We're posting a lot more tutorials onto my channel. So if you do subscribe, then you will get a notification when I am posting a new video, so that's super fun for you and for me. I will pop a link to all of the products below. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to know what you guys think of Latte makeup, and if there's any tips or tricks that you can share with me too. And hopefully I will see you in the next video.